It's been too long, eh? Bloody hell, I don't even know what to say. This is what happens when you take a month off from making videos. So this is the Victron MultiPlus 3000 kVA. If you guys haven't seen our electrical overview video, I'll put a link in the description that goes into a bit more detail. But as I mentioned before, this will turn our 12 volt into 230 volt, and it will also manage our shore power. It can also trickle charge our starter battery, and it will also charge the main battery if we're hooked into shore power. So it's a great piece of kit. The reason why we've gone with this one is because we are doing an all electric setup, so we're going to have an induction hub. And also we didn't go for the new one, the newer version MultiPlus 2, is because it's taller and it's thinner, so it wouldn't fit into the bench. So let's crack on and install this bad boy. For the consumer unit, we're going for the Schneider Easy9, I think it's called. It has 4 ways and an RCD. We're going for the 63 amp 30 milliamp RCD, and then we got 4 MCBs. They're all 16 amps. I might change them out later, but I think this should be fine for what we need. Seems like a pretty good consumer unit. I mean, I have no idea, I'm not an electrician. This is just documenting my journey, but it seems pretty good. We have a bus bar at the bottom that connects all the lives, and then we have a neutral bar coming out. So all the neutrals will connect here, all the earths will connect here. The live and the neutral comes in the RCD. This passes the neutral through, this passes the lives through, and then the stuff that's going out will go out here, and the earths connect here, and the neutrals will connect here. By the way, out of all the Victron things, I think this is the only one that came with screws, so that's pretty good. So we have this mount. It's like a French cleat style system, and we just need to mount this up here, and the MultiPlus will slot onto that. Wow, let's see if it fits. Hey, nice. Oh man, it's gonna be tight in here. So it's time to sort out the consumer unit. I just punched a hole in the back of it. I'm not gonna lie, it was painful. I couldn't just do it with a... I've seen loads of people do it just with a hammer, but it didn't work, so I had to drill it out with a hole saw. So I got some of this rubber trim, which I've been saying for ages that I'm gonna get some for some of the other bits, so I'm gonna use this to wrap around the edge to make sure that it's nice and neat and protected. The cables are protected. That's on like so. Looks pretty good. And now we just need to put everything back in together. These little MCB RCCBs just pop in. I got these copper bars as well that came with the unit. I'm not a qualified electrician, so do not follow along please. So I just put on the neutral bar. Probably shouldn't have. Goes there like so. Then I need to fit this, which is the bus bar for the line, which goes in here. I should probably add all the other MCBs first, so they're all the same, and they look like this, and they just pop on. Make sure they're all open on the bottom, and now I can pop the bar in. Make sure that they're all open, and when you screw it down, it's going to be fine. I should probably do this with a torque wrench. I'll probably get one and double check all the torques to make sure that these are fine. Torque wrench? A torque screwdriver. And by the way, we will get this all checked by a professional electrician, so don't worry. Cool. And then there is a little cover that we can pop on here. Alrighty. Consumer unit is mounted. There's the hole through the back where everything's going to come in. And now it's time to sort out the inverter, I think. Wow. I almost feel like it's going to be easier to connect all the wires now and then just put it up, I think, is what I'm going to do. So first thing we need to do is we'll need to add the AC in, battery negative and battery positive, and also the ground down here. And because we're a bit low on space, I think what I'm going to do is attach that first, and maybe even those with the wires kind of coming out, and probably the AC in as well, just to make my life a bit easier. And then we'll put it up on the mount here. And for the AC in, I need to drill a hole. There we go. Very good. Oh, let's try my rubber grommet. It's this stuff. I think I've already shown you guys this. There it is. Rubber grommet is on the aluminium. So that's all sorted. Let's make up the cables. Step 1. Cut your cable. Able to cut through it. There we go. Don't need this. We got a ground, negative, positive. Step 2, strip and put our 95A lugs on there. Somewhere there. There we go. That looks good. Next step is to crimp it with this bad boy. 95. What I like to do, doesn't even matter if the cable is in it or not. So like that. And then the crimper is holding it in. Then plug your cable in. Make sure it's all the way in. One side is holding the cable in with this hand, and this one I pump it down. Just make sure it's plugged all the way in. And there we go. That's on. Nice and tight. And time for heat shrink. And that's it, done. Now we just need to do this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more times. I've run out of heat shrink, so I'm gonna have to buy some more and add it on later, but I want to get this thing up and running, so I'm gonna crack on and make these lugs. Alright, 95s are ready, and now we're gonna prep our Arctic Blue for the power out inverter to the consumer unit. First thing first, gonna strip. Got some of this. Careful. Oh no. Okay, try again. Gotta be really careful with this. Attempt 2 is a success. So now I'm going to strip some of this back so we can put our ferrules on. There we go. And then put the grey ferrule on, get our crimping tool, put that through there, crimp it on, chop the end off, and Bob's your uncle. I used this ferrule tool before, but I'll put a link in the description again. In case you're new, Nice. And that's ready to go. And we'll do the same thing on the other end when I'm sorting out the consumer unit. But for now, that should do it. Cool. So, time to connect our things. First is this 95. You probably can't see it, but I'm connecting it to the ground at the bottom. I'll show you later. So this guy's gonna go on here. Then need a negative. It's gonna come through here. I'll probably put it on this side. Positive. Cool. AC out. Cool, make sure these are all tight. Twist that on. So it can't get yanked. And there we go. Now I need to connect AC in. I'm gonna pass it through the hole that we made. And strip some of this back as well. Make sure they're all tight. Seem good to me. Come on. There we go. Will I be able to put this back on? With all these fucking... I think it'll be fine. I just gotta have to be careful like to yank anything out. Neutral. I'm gonna get a torque screwdriver so I can double check the torques on these. But now I'm just hand tightening them, make sure that it's tight. Yeah, these are not going anywhere. Screw that on. Let's get this bad boy mounted. Alright, let's see if the idea of putting the cables on before I mount it was good or not. So well, we're in. Now just gonna tidy up these cables, try to run them somewhat logical, and connect it to the Lynx. Alright, so here's the situation. I ran them along the side here, and I'll probably buy some conduit thing that I can cover these cables in just so they're protected. The thing is, they're 95mm, so they don't bend very well, but I think it will be fine. And we're not going to use this cupboard for anything else. We'll probably keep the extension lead there for the shore power, and that's about it. So it's all for electrical. But yeah, it fits only just. Everything is getting there now. It's pretty exciting. So all the 95mm cables come through here, and then I just need to connect them now. So positive, negative, and ground. Ground goes in the middle, negative, positive, and the fuse. And then I think I'll turn it on just to make sure that it turns on, and then I might connect the AC out into the consumer unit. So yeah, we need to get the Turbo GX up and running as well. But anyway, let's connect the MultiPlus, make sure that it turns on, and then I'll need to buy a socket at some point so we can test it, but we're getting there. So let's connect it, see if it turns on. So before we connect the MultiPlus, I'm just gonna wire up the AC out from the MultiPlus to the consumer unit, just because I don't like this cable dingling around. Disclaimer, not a qualified electrician. This will be checked by a qualified electrician. Please do not do 230-volt stuff if you're not comfortable with it. And even if you're comfortable with it, like me, get an electrician to double check it before you actually make it live properly. Anyway, that's that. So first I'm gonna connect the earth or CPC or whatever you want to call it, which is connected to the chassis. So let's cut that back. This one is multi-stranded as well, but not as fine as some of the other cables. So crimp that on, undo the bolt. This is the earth bar. Let it overhang like 1 mil maybe. It's nice and tight. It's not going anywhere. And now we need to do a main AC out from the MultiPlus. Probably want to tuck the excess down there, so I can probably strip this back to be very careful because I don't want to rerun this. So just cut it a bit, and then by bending it I can cut the insulation. There we go. So anyway, we have our line, neutral, earth. I'll probably start with the earth. Strip this. Stick in the hole. I will do the same with these. Tuck some down the back. That looks pretty good to me. Earth is in, neutral's in, line is in, everything's nice and tight. Like I said, this will get checked by an electrician. I'm just temporarily setting it up just so I can power this up and make sure that things are working. So let's connect the MultiPlus now. Let's do ground first. I already made sure that everything's off. So now get this on there. And again, when my heat shrink comes tomorrow, I'm gonna have to take these off and heat shrink them, but I'll save you guys watching me that. Now we do the negative, so you can take this off to make your life easier. Washer first, then the lock washer. Very good. And now we just need the positive. And you should wear eye protection if it's a big inverter. So I'm gonna go get my safety goggles now, just in case there is a spark. Alright, I'm back. Look, I'm not lying. Wear your safety goggles, please, when you're doing inverter stuff. Because if you're connecting it directly to the battery without a switch, the capacitors draw a lot of amps and you can get a spark. And that spark is basically hot metal flying around. So if that hits your eye, you can go blind. So please wear your goggles. So we shouldn't get a spark because the thing is off. So fingers crossed. There we go. Washer, lock washer, nut. So even though I was pretty sure we're not going to get a spark because everything is off, you should still wear your goggles just in case. Cool, that's on. So positive, negative, earth, everything's on. I'm now going to go through, do my sanity check, make sure everything is wired as it should be, and then we're going to turn it on. Alright, cool, we are ready to go. We can turn it on. Alright, goggles are on. Let's see what happens. Well, the lights turned on. There was no spark and I didn't hear anything. Does it turn on? Is the question. Yeah, we got a green light. That means something. What does it mean? I guess it's top right, it means the inverter is on. Nice! We don't know if it's actually working yet because we don't have a socket, but I guess I could measure voltage here and see if we're getting power. Should we try that? Let's try that. Alright, here we go. Need to be careful with this stuff now because it is 230 volts, so let's not touch anything. I think we should have power coming out of here. So if I touch line and neutral here, There we go. 230 volts. And if I touch here and here, we have no power. But if I turn that on, we should have no power. And if I turn that on, yes, it's working. Amazing. I'm super happy with that. This has been stressing me out for ages. So anyway, it's working. I'm gonna turn it off, cover everything up, and then we're gonna get a electrician check this at some point. So here is the overview of the electrical bench. For now, it's pretty much finished. And for those of you eagle-eyed viewers, you will spot something new, which you'll see in next week's episode. So thanks for watching, guys. Make sure you subscribe and like, and see you in next week's episode. Bye.